This video is for lazy people who always want the success and make grand New Year resolutions, but in reality don't do anything that actually help them succeed. What does it even mean to say you want success? It means you have ambition, right? And ambition is a good thing. It's a big thing. And having an ambition isn't necessarily the problem. But the real issue is in the gap between your actions and your ambitions. And what's the simplest solution? Well, lower your ambition. In this way, you'll act in proportion to your goals and you won't be so unhappy. Why torture yourself dreaming about massive success and then in the end feeling miserable for not doing anything? Just aim lower. But it's not that easy to lower your ambition, isn't it? Of course, if your ambitions are totally unrealistic, maybe it's good to cut them down a little bit. But the desire to achieve more in life isn't inherently bad. It's a healthy kind of ambition. It's something we need. So instead of telling you to lower your ambitions, today's video is on how to fix laziness, or on how to raise your level of action. Let me first ask, why don't we act as much as we desire? Why are we lazy? There are actually two types of laziness. The first laziness is doing absolutely nothing, which is the classic kind. You lie down, watching Netflix and YouTube, scrolling through Instagram and social media without studying or working. That's the first type of laziness. The second type of laziness is filling your time with wrong actions. This is still considered laziness. It's just more deceptive. You keep yourself busy with things that aren't important. We avoid the meaningful and difficult tasks in life and do easier but less important things just to avoid feeling like garbage. For example, the moment you sit down to study, suddenly your desk feels so dirty. So you clean your desk instead of studying. Or let me give you one more. You never clean the dishes, but suddenly you feel the urge to scrub everything once it comes to study time. You usually never read books, but when it's time to prepare for your exam, you pick up a book and say, yes, this is self-development. But here's the dangerous part. These actions look productive. Cleaning, reading, they're all useful things. The issue is in timing. That moment isn't for cleaning, it's for studying. But you end up feeling like you've been productive because your day was very busy. And this is how a lot of people mentally trick themselves. It's like fiddling with a pen or reading a random magazine during exam season. These actions have no real meaning unless the main task, which is studying, is being done. So, how can we solve both types of laziness? We'll look at the first type of laziness first, not doing anything. The first solution to this is use the power of inertia. Inertia is the tendency to keep moving once it starts moving. It's hard to get a still object moving, but once it's moving, it's easy to keep it going. Think about pushing a car. It's tough at first, but once it starts moving, it's easy to keep it moving. So, how do we apply this inertia into our lives? Well, in physics, one way to reduce inertia is by reducing your burden. Reduce the burden of starting. So how do we reduce that burden? Lower the weight of your task. Big, heavy tasks are hard to start, so break them down into tiny parts. I've been struggling to write lately. Writing 10 pages a day were just too overwhelming. So I told myself, just write 3 lines. That small start helped me write 10 lines, and then 3 pages, and then 10 pages. Starting small reduces the weight, which makes it easier to gain momentum. So don't stop. Once you're in motion, keep going. Once you stop, it's hard to start again. A millionaire once said he wakes up at 4 a.m. every single day no matter what. Even if he sleeps at 1:30 a.m., he still wakes up at 4. Why? Because if he breaks that wake-up routine once, it will become harder to get back into it. It's easier to take a nap than to break the habit. This applies to almost everything. It's easier to continue than to restart. The second solution to not doing anything is to cut off distractions. Well, we say we do nothing, we are lazy. But in reality, humans cannot literally be doing nothing. You're either on your phone, spacing out, or doing at least something. So if you make distractions hard to access, then boredom will lead you to do the right thing. There's a book called Reset Your Mind, which suggests these 3 methods. The first one, turn your device screen to grayscale. The second method, limit app usage with timers. And the last method is to block distracting websites on your computer. Changing your app to grayscale or using apps like Forest can be really effective. Forest rewards your focus with a growing tree. But if you use your phone, the tree dies. It even has a deep focus mode to block all the other apps. On PC, apps like Cold Turkey Blocker can block sites like YouTube or Instagram. The point is, remove your main enemies. Block these frequent distractions entirely. Now, for the second type of laziness, which is busy with the wrong things, the first solution to this is to limit your priorities. The trap of the less important task is that it still feels somewhat important. So, instead of calling them less important, call them forbidden. Label them as things you should not be doing. Warren Buffett once advised his private pilot. He said, write down 25 life goals. Pick the top 5. Now, forget the other 20. Not do them later, but treat them as distractions and don't touch them at all. That mental framing, forbidden, not less important, changes everything. Try it yourself. Write down 25 life goals, pick the top 5. The rest goes on a do not do list. This way, your schedule gets filled with the most essential things. And the second solution for the second type of laziness is to imagine your death. Even if you set priorities, sticking to them is hard, especially when your willpower runs low. That's when it helps to imagine your death. Ask yourself, if I were to die tomorrow, will I still choose to do this? Or when I'm 90 or 100 and looking back, would I say, yes, doing that task was the right choice? There's a book called The World is Pain, but You Are Stronger Than the Pain. And it says, paradoxically, true clarity about life comes from confronting your end. A person near death understands time's value more than anyone. Bring that version of you into your present moment. Let their wisdom guide your every choice. Ask yourself, if a 95-year-old me were watching this right now, what advice would they give me? It would probably be, focus on what really matters. Don't waste time on meaningless distractions, right? So to sum it all up, there are 2 types of laziness. Doing nothing is the first one, and the second one is being busy with the wrong things. How about the solutions to doing nothing? The first solution is to use inertia. Start small and don't stop. The second solution is to cut off distractions. And the solution to being busy with the wrong things, the first solution would be limit your priorities. Make less important tasks off limits. The second solution is to imagine your death to gain clarity on what really matters. And that brings us to the end of our video. Thanks so much for watching.